Boosie went on VLAD TV speaking about the YSL case with RICO, all of that stuff, the RICO case with YSL, and he said that you cannot shake 28 eggs and expect none of them to break.
It's hard to put 28 eggs in a crate and shake all of them and none of them don't crack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to Casanova.
28 eggs in a, you shake them.
Well, look, I mean, Casanova just...
Now, what Boosie is referring to is the fact that currently there are snitches amongst the ranks of YSL. It's a fact. That is the reason why Young Thug and Gunna cannot acquire bond.
I mean, you know that the reason why everyone got their bond denied again, and the judge mentioned this, was that there is a bunch of proffer agreements now that people have made in that indictment. You know what those are, right?
Yeah, that means copping out.
Well, it means that they're cooperating while getting immunity for their statements.
So with that being said, I've said this multiple times, but I'm going to reiterate it again. The image that they have sold us is bullshit. And now you're seeing it play out in front of you. I want y'all to think for a second. The people in this case that are snitching on Young Thug and Gunna, you think Gunna and Young Thug haven't put food on those guys' tables? You think Gunna and Young Thug haven't put clothes on their backs of their kids? You think Young Thug and Gunna haven't probably put roofs over these guys' heads? You really believe that? You really think that Young Thug and Gunna haven't bought these guys drugs? All sorts of things. Young Thug and Gunna have probably looked out for these guys on a level that no one else has probably ever looked out on them before. Their parents probably haven't even looked out for them to the extent that Gunna and Young Thug have. Fact. Absolute fact. And now Gunna and Young Thug are being snitched on, and their freedom hangs in the balance. Well, it doesn't even hang in the balance. Young Thug and Gunna's freedom is basically finished. It's over with. It's done. You're facing multiple decades in prison. You're being snitched on. There's shitloads of evidence on you. You've been wiretapped for 7 years straight. It's over. What I want y'all to take away from this situation, though, is that this shit is not cool. This shit is not cool. It's cool so long as you're free and throwing up gang signs in the music videos and talking about slat and slime and gang. But the reality of the situation is now these guys are behind bars. They're behind bars and their freedom is forfeit. Now they done took 2 extra bodies and put it on Gunna. 2 extra bodies. You're already being snitched on for all type of crimes that come with like 5 to 10 year sentences. Now, on top of that, you got 2 extra bodies being put on you that are associated with a gang killing. So you're being accused of 2 murders alongside another gang in conjunction with what's going on with YSL, and you think Gunna's just gonna come home free, unscathed? That would have to be a miracle. It would have to be a miracle. Let's tell the truth, right? Young Thug and Gunna right now are basically over with this RICO shit. They're basically done. If the state loses, the feds will pick up the case and probably seal the deal on these 2 guys. What I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that this whole free YSL, free Gunna, free Thug shit, it's unacceptable. Gunna and Thug should not be allowed to run around the community laying waste to the black community because they're famous, popular rappers. It doesn't work like that. Look at the Kodak case. Look at how many chances Kodak Black has gotten. Does the average nigga who's a consistent crime committer, in other words, a career criminal, how many chances do they get? Not many. These rappers are destroying the community with their behavior and being allowed to just roam free by the community on an ideological level because the state has locked them up. So they're not being allowed to roam free. But when you go on comments of shit like Spiritual Word or the Shade Room and shit like that, you see people in the comment section saying free Thug, free YSL. Y'all were just crying about Black Lives Matter 2 years ago. Now these folks are accusing black people, are accusing Young Thug and Gunna of killing black people. These niggas have bragged about, well, Young Thug has bragged about damn near getting somebody's mother shot. He says, I shot at his mommy, he no longer mentioned me in his music. And y'all are cool with that? Y'all are okay with that? The truth of the matter is this. Young Thug and Gunna have promoted, well, Young Thug in particular, I'm unsure about Gunna. I'm pretty sure Gunna just raps about cool shit, you know, beautiful women, buying them Birkin bags and normal shit. Young Thug is the one who's been rapping that gangster shit for quite some time. Young Thug has spent all of this time promoting death and destruction to the black youth, to the black community, and now it's all coming full circle. Furthermore, let's take into account the fact that Young Thug is a famous rapper. Young Thug can wake up in the morning and text any beautiful woman on Instagram and say, hey, come on, pull up on me. I'll fly you out from wherever you're at, or if you're in Atlanta, pull up on me. He could text any beautiful woman when he wakes up in the morning and say, you know what, pull up. He can get up in the morning and have any restaurant catered to his crib. He can wake up in the morning and set up a flight to go to Europe, he can go to Alaska. He can go anywhere he wants to go. He can go to any beautiful part of the world he wants to go because he's got money like that. He's got the financial freedom to go to England, Scotland, Ireland, Germany, Spain, Morocco, fucking Dubai. Young Thug had enough money in his life to live life. You understand what I'm saying? Young Thug had enough money in his life to truly experience all that this world has to offer in the limited amount of time that a man, a black American man in particular, will get in this life. We die from violence. We die from poor health, diabetes, heart problems. Kevin Samuels died from a heart problem. Man, black men don't usually live as long as everybody else. And to have that kind of money, to live life to the fullest extent, and to pass it up behind gang shit, to pass it up behind beef is insane to me. Look, I get it. Young Thug probably didn't want to live in a city having mortal beef with another man. He probably wanted to dead the beef. But by deading the beef, he wanted to dead some niggas behind the beef. The reality is Young Thug lost one of his baby mothers. Young Thug is now locked up facing life in prison. Between the baby mother being dead, I hate to speak that way, I don't know her name, but between the baby mother being dead and Young Thug being locked up and possibly never coming home, this child has no parents. Basically an orphan. And y'all are sitting there talking about free Young Thug. Stop. If we stopped doing this to one another and behaving like this, maybe this kid will be able to have at least one of his parents. At what point do we stop making excuses for destructive behavior? When you have the financial and social mobility of a guy like Young Thug, you can wake up in the morning and tell any shorty to pull up on you. You can get whatever you want to eat. You can sleep wherever you want to sleep. You can drink whatever you want to drink. You can go wherever you want to go. You can buy whatever you want. Going from that to being in a jail cell has to be the worst experience ever. And for the black community to be saying, free Young Thug, free Young Thug. What about the lesson to learn from this situation here? What about the lesson to learn from this? What are we teaching our children from this situation? By saying free Gunna and free Thug, you're basically telling children the people who destroy our community deserve impunity, especially if they are famous and successful rappers. You should be telling your children, hey, look, bruh. You could go from being on top of the world to being in a prison cell. What do you want to be? You want to be in a jail cell? You want to be in a jail pod, smelling other men's fart? Sharing a cell with a grown man. When he shits, you smell the shit. When he pisses, you smell the shit. You want to be around that? You want to be itching because everything around you is nasty and dirty? You want to be wearing the clothes another man tells you to wear? You want to be calling your family when them motherfuckers tell you you're allowed to call your family, bruh? That's the life you want to live? You want to go to sleep when they tell you to go to sleep? Or you want to be able to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and say, hey, bro, I want to go to the club. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's the life that a rapper is supposed to be living. Being free and experiencing shit. Having fun. Like Drake. If y'all would move like Drake, things would be better for y'all. But instead, niggas like Drake are corny. Niggas like Drake who are free to interact with his son and interact with his mother and his father, and niggas like Drake who are just free to live life are corny. Niggas like Thug who crash out are cool. I can't wrap my mind around this. What lesson are we teaching our community and our children? Ultimately, Boosie is right. You cannot shake 28 eggs and expect none of them to break. Especially eggs that already have cracks in them. See, eggs like Thug and Gunna, those eggs are the smooth eggs, no blemishes, smooth skin, no blemishes, no cracks, no nothing. These guys are extremely socially and financially successful. Those guys aren't gonna snitch. But these dudes out here that are broke, no money, no women, no food, no social and financial mobility, no nothing. When these white folks put that, hey, bro, so look, bro, we finna get you out about 30, 40 years. What you want to do? What you think them niggas gonna do? They seeing 30 to 40 years in front of them. They got a public defender. Hey, bro, take the deal, but just snitch, bro. Come on, bro. I'm taking it. Especially if Young Thug and Gunna got their hands tied. Especially if Young Thug and Gunna got their hands tied. If I'm the lawyer to one of these niggas in YSL that don't got no money and got no fame, look, bruh, snitch. Because these two niggas, 9 times out of 10, they ain't coming home. So you snitch, you get to come home, them niggas gonna be in prison, nothing will probably happen to you. Skip town, move to another state, move to another city, call it a day. Call it a day. That's the unfortunate reality of it. I'm not celebrating the fact that these guys are locked up. It doesn't please me. But at the end of the day, if you're destroying the community, you got consequences that you got to stand by. You got to stand behind it. What kind of society or civilization are we living in where we allow people to destroy the community because they're famous rappers? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.